Music Not Diving is brought to you by Acid Nation, formerly AC55ID.com. Acid Nation is the fastest growing electronic music marketplace. It is a direct-to-consumer platform, so if you're a label or an artist selling music, then this is a great way to connect with your fans directly. And if you're a music fan yourself, which you probably are if you're watching this podcast, well, this is a great place for you to be spending your time and your money. So what differentiates Acid Nation from other D2C platforms? Well, for example, they have a pressing plant. So if you're doing vinyl, if you want to get into doing vinyl, they can absolutely help you with that. And they can fulfill vinyl orders on demand, straight from the consumer back to the consumer, as it were. So that's pretty amazing. They also have a fulfillment service, so they can take your orders, process them, and send them out without you having to do a single thing. Also pretty amazing. Streaming on the platform pays 1 cent per stream. So the mythical 1 cent per stream is reality on acidnation.com. And the other great thing about them is they're supporting Music Not Diving, of course. So I suggest you head over to acidnation.com and check them out.
You don't have to like everything I play. You shouldn't like everything I play, but it should make you think. Like, and if you don't want to listen, then don't listen. That's fine. But I'm not going to appeal to the masses. When I think about kind of stations that I listen to, what I look for in radio, I want to hear things that I don't know, and I want to be slightly disturbed.
This is Music Not Diving with Scuba.
Welcome to the show. I'm Scuba. This is Music Not Diving. Okay, on the show this week, we're talking to a really important person in UK music broadcasting, particularly underground music, or at least music which is not in the mainstream. It is, of course, Jamz Supernova. She is of BBC Six Music fame right now, but previously was on One Extra for many years, and I actually make a mistake about that in the conversation. But yeah, the show on Six Music is absolutely great, so I advise you to check it out if you haven't already. And we talk about that, we talk about the approach to it, and also her history in broadcasting, all the stuff that she's done up to this point, and her thoughts on what's happening in music today. So without further delay, let's head over to the studio and talk to Jamz Supernova.
Brought to you by acidnation.com.
Jamz Supernova, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I listen, I watch, so it's kind of cool to be sitting here.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our podcast.
Oh, good.
I actually, I'm a fan of your podcast too, and also your general output, because I mean, you're a very experienced broadcaster at this point, right?
I think I've been doing it a while. Yeah. I think I've been doing it a while. I feel like it's like I'm in my flow, you know, when it comes to broadcasting. And I love the craft of it. So I really always, kind of always want to be better, always listen to other people, like even listen to people that may not have come from a broadcasting background. I find that really fulfilling, like thinking about the questions that you might ask, how you might phrase a question. There's other podcasts that I listen to and I'm like, oh, that was good, Yeah,
right. That's the thing with podcasts, because it's like there are so many now, and mostly I think hosted by people who don't have experience in, proper media.
Yeah.
Right. And it does kind of, it brings a kind of like variety to it, doesn't it?
Definitely. It's a disruptor. Yeah. Because otherwise we just do the things in the way that someone says, this is how we do things. And then you just keep on doing it and no one questions it. And it's like, well, why do we do that thing? It's like, well, that's just the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
And then something like podcasts will come along and it's like, well, actually maybe it doesn't. Like we were always taught in radio, like don't talk too much, stop talking. If you've got an A-list guest, maybe you only speak to them for 6 minutes. If they're a C-list, 3 minutes. Get them on and off. This is like daytime radio. Yeah. Whereas you can have a podcast and we could be sitting here for 3 hours.
Yeah, right.
And if the content is good, people will listen. So I think that's kind of what I think in my head.
Yeah, it's a completely different mindset, isn't it? Because you're right, yeah. I mean, what can you say in 6 minutes? It's basically just go on, plug the record, make some sort of platitudinous statement.
Yeah, and then see you later, take a quick picture and off you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also, like, with BBC especially, there's a very... we used to have BBC English, but there's almost a kind of equivalent now where people talk in a certain way, and it's not so much accents, it's more the kind of method of expressing yourself, right? Which you get, there's a sort of commonality across, certainly across One Extra and Radio 1. Is that I've literally just thought of that as I was saying, but is that fair?
I don't know, I mean, I definitely think I've listened back to my old shows and I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's like lifestyle. I don't sound how I sounded then,
right?
When I was 25.
Yeah.
When I was a lot more like listening to One Extra. And I don't sound like that anymore. But yeah, I don't know if it's lifestyle or life or, I do sometimes sometimes people can have a broadcasting voice, but I always love the people that sounded the same way they sound off mic to how they sound on mic. You know, it's just a flick of a button, but nothing really changes. So there was people that I really admired, and I always really admired like unique voices, like someone like a Toddler T who has his toddlerisms, or Target who would make mistakes, or, you know, but they're very like endearing, you know, on air. And I listen to a lot of like NTS, and there's an NTS voice. Right. You know, I do think there's like a slightly an NTS voice, and so yeah, maybe we're just all little sort of copycats of each other.
Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? Because I mean, like, you definitely have like stations, and I suppose I was going to say podcast, but it's a bit different, isn't it? Because a radio station is it's a kind of an entity of itself, right? I mean, certainly when I was a kid listening to Pirate, I was a fan of a station. I would listen to a station, right? And the same is true with kind of legal stations. And it's funny you mentioned NCS, because you wouldn't necessarily think that, but that's absolutely true, right? Yeah.
And I listen as a station, so we'll check it in the morning. It'll be on in the kitchen.
And there is commonality across the shows.
Yeah, how they interact with the chat room, how they talk up the music, and I guess that can be same for, like, say on Six Music, like there is a sort of thread about how we talk about music, the way in which we talk about music between the presenters. I definitely think I can hear that. Yeah,
right. You started as an intern on One Extra, right?
Yeah.
I also applied for an internship many years ago. I think the very first round, like when the station started, which would have been 2002 or something like that. 2001, 2002. I obviously didn't get in. And which was, I mean,
a blessing for your other career, but
I mean, but it's good. It took you a while too, didn't it? A couple of goes, right?
To get on air. Yeah. I mean, it took me 3 times to get the internship.
Yeah.
And I remember like waiting till it's like, you know, waiting to get your NI number. I was waiting to turn 18 to apply, because I went to the Brit School, and they, you know, we had a lot of ex-Brit School students that were part of the beginnings of One Extra, you know, Ace and Viz and Janine.
We're going to go back to Brit School. I've got that written down. But
but yes, I always knew that I wanted to be there. And it's just a case of like turning 18 and being legal to apply to be there. Applied the first time, didn't hear nothing. Applied the second time, didn't hear nothing. Applied the third time. And I don't know, I was more confident. I'd done more things. I'd spent a year kind of as part of this weird Nokia TV presenter competition.
Okay,
so I was like, got to go to
what was that?
I don't know. I was doing all these auditions, you know, to be a presenter. I was like sending like these self tapes, and I did one for Nokia, and then the final 6 people got to go on this like year-long travel trip. So, well, you come back, but you had to blog about it and use it was all branding and marketing and activation, as we call it now. I didn't know that. So I'm like 19 years old. I got to go snowbombing, got to go to the F1 in Barcelona, LA, the Oscar red carpet.
Awesome. That was
Cannes.
Right.
Yeah, it was mad. And then I had just bang in the middle of that, I'd applied for an extra internship. So when I got into the building for an interview, I thought I was going to make it as a presenter. So I was like, you know, I just got back from LA, like, so I think I'd had a whole different kind of confidence then.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's the time you got it?
Yeah, that's when I got the internship. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So talk a bit more about that Nokia thing. So basically you were just turning up. How many of you were there?
6 of us.
Right. Yeah. So you all turned up at the same time. So
we would all go together. Yeah. We were like this little clique, but only one could win.
Oh, and it, right.
And it was based on the content that you created. So we had these Nokia phones, we had these Nokia laptops, and we were to blog and to create content for our from our trips and you know, on our blogs. And then the more views, the more, you know, interactions you got. But this would have been in 2010.
Yeah, right. So before Instagram, basically.
Yeah, way before Instagram, yeah. I remember, I know it sounds silly now, but you know, like never look at the comment section. Like I think I learned that pretty quickly when someone said I look like an Oompa Loompa.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I know. And I kind of see it, you know. I'm very orange at times.
Okay.
And you know, like the digital cameras when they make your eyes go funny. Like, yeah. So I kind of, I can see it.
Okay.
You're looking at me now like, do I look like an Oompa Loompa?
Okay. But yeah, you wanted to be a TV presenter.
Yeah, that was the first thing.
Yeah, because I've been listening to your previous appearances on podcasts and also reading your interviews, and you mentioned June Sarpong. Was June Sarpong being influenced.
Yeah, she was. I just loved her on what was it, the T4 show in the mornings, kind of going to Hollyoaks, what was it, that long omnibus episode.
Right. Hollyoaks. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just loved how it's thrown it back. It was her and Vernon Kay, and they had such great chemistry. And I just I hadn't seen maybe like a black woman on the screen be so like vibrant, not in an authoritative, not behind the news desk and not in a teacher role, or kind of how sort of not as a detective. I don't know, thinking of all the sort of tropes that you see. Sure. She was just having a laugh, and her, her and Makita, people like her and Makita Oliver, kind of, I was like, oh, I want to do that.
Right. Okay. To what extent was music a big thing for you at that point?
Massively, yeah. I thought TV presenting would be, because I couldn't do anything musical. Right. Then I would be like in proximity to music, presenting music culture, TV culture around that sort of, like I want to be on the lick, MTV Bass, T4, Freshly Squeezed, all that sort of stuff. So I wanted the proximity, but only because I didn't have any skills to be a musician.
Okay.
So that was my next best thing. And then radio kind of came out of nowhere, because I was like, I'd always listened to radio. I've always listened to pirate radio. I listened to the chart show growing up. Came across pirate when I was like 13. Got a Freeview box when I was 15, discovered One Extra, and I was like, there's features and stuff, Begged my parents to listen to Capital, Choice FM at the time, like in the car.
So hang on, when you discovered pirate, what were you listening to on pirate?
It was like Freeze FM, and it was, I used to live down by Millwall.
Yeah.
And so we could get Freeze FM, and I loved it. Yeah, I think I heard about artists like, like the rap scene, Sway, Baby Blue, at the time, sort of late night listening. I loved their morning show, but I just couldn't understand why the same song would get played at the same time.
Right.
And I was like, this is just so crazy. Like, they know I love this song. It was like every time we had a radio in the shower.
Okay.
And every time I was in the shower, I was like, so crazy. It's like a Boyz II Men song. But then I learned that it was a pre-record.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. At Millwall, really. I used to have a studio around there.
No way.
Oh, yeah. On Ilderton Road.
Yeah. No, I loved it around there. I mean, that's like my formative years. Like, so I would have been from 6 to 13. And it's kind of crazy now. You never really see kids playing out, but like we would ride our bikes, we'd go down to Millwall, we'd go through the tunnels, cut through the tunnel that cuts from like New Cross to Deptford. Right. We were just out, like up on the hill, like looking out across the stadium. I love that area.
Yeah, it's pretty vibey, definitely. I mean, obviously, the other side of it's changed loads now, isn't it? It's like gentrified hard.
Oh god, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's kind of almost like, and the parts that maybe felt like a little bit more edgy kind of feel like a little bit of a ghost town now. Yeah. It's kind of scary. Yeah, it's definitely, my aunt still lives in Deptford. She's been there long time. But yeah, the high street, she's been seeing the high street continuously change. But I guess there's always been an art edge because you always have the students.
Yeah, Goldsmiths, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, radio, just before we get back into your journey in particular, like how has what role does radio play now in kids getting into music? Let's look at it from that perspective.
I don't think it plays any role.
Right.
Not for kids.
Okay.
Absolutely not. No.
So what is
that's not their source of music discovery.
So what's the point then of Radio 1 and 1 Extra? Because that's supposed to be, the target audience is supposed to be
like a youth station. Yeah, of course.
Right. It's supposed to be that.
Yeah, I don't see that there isn't a point for it, because I do think about, the areas that they serve that are outside of the cities, outside of the main cities that have got a lot going on. For some people, that is an access point to youth culture. If they're in more remote areas, and kind of you often feel that when you look at the text messages and you see who's listening. Yeah.
Really, is that true? So it's a bigger audience outside.
Can be, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Obviously not all the time, but I think that so I don't know. I always remember the text messages on a Saturday night when I was like working on. You could be a Target or Trevor. It's like so and so, like milking the cows, locked in milking the cows. Okay. So yeah, you do definitely have those type of listenerships. So yeah, I don't know if there is a point, or do you adapt to what radio is? So like, is it just about the linear listen? Is it about the Instagram offering? Short form content, as they say, is like, is a platform in itself. Is it the YouTube offering? Is radio also like visual now? So I think there was always always still a point for artists to be able to come, should be a point for artists to be able to come and share music and get paid for their music being played. Because, I think people sometimes forget, like, PRS is real.
Yeah.
You get paid per play. And the most money you make getting paid per play on national radio is at the BBC.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Quite a long way.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, what is the, so I'm just like, radio is something which has been so important to me over time. And I'm just kind of struggling to put together the changing nature of the industry and the changing nature of people's relationship with music.
Yeah.
And radio is, for the longest time, such a key part of that. And I struggle between being, broadly optimistic about the fact that there's more people making music than ever before, but pessimistic because the industry just seems to be in a constant state of crisis, right? You know what I mean? How can radio play a role in making things better, do you think?
I mean, I think it's definitely a discovery point still for people. Not everybody has the time to go online or the algorithm was only going to serve you what you already like, right?
Yeah.
So radio is the one place that you might hear something that you don't know that you like until you've heard it. There's still that element of surprise. Yeah. Because it's not algorithmic, it's people that are curating. So there's still the kind of curational element to it. I think in terms of for the industry, I think it's like, I always think of it like if you think of it like a pie, right? And all the cogs like need to work together to make everything in it work and for everything to be a success. So if I'm thinking of it from a label point of view or releasing music, or if I was working with you, okay, so we're gonna want the specialist radio. But is it just, okay, nowadays, does it matter if you just get one play? Is that going to really change the dial? Or is it about figuring out a journey for you to be able to go on there and tell your story and have a bigger sort of moment within radio? Maybe it's like you doing a residency, or maybe it's you doing like an in-depth conversation, or, a bigger moment as part of a mix series or whatever. But then you also need the press to be working at the same time, like, kind of just editorial press pieces coming and going, Again, is there, okay, if it's just like a news piece, is that really going to move the dial? No. But is there a way for you to really tell your story? Is it a cover piece? Is it a deep dive into your catalogue? I don't know, whatever. So, and then you also need the streaming to be working at the same time too, and the live. And sometimes if you take one thing out of it, it kind of takes away from you actually reaching people.
Sure.
Yeah. So I kind of think, yeah.
Okay, you've been watching for about 15 minutes, so well done for getting this deep into the podcast. I'm just going to jump in, if you don't mind, and take this opportunity to tell you about the ways you can support the show if you so desire. We are on Patreon, patreon.com/ScubaOfficial. There are 2 very reasonably priced tiers there, both of which get you the bonus podcast that I do every 2 weeks, and the more expensive one gets you all of the music that we release on Hot Flush Recordings and our affiliated labels. So that's a great way to support us. If you don't want to do that, completely understand, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. I know everyone says this, but it really, really helps. So please do that, and I'll let you get back to the episode.
It all works together.
The absolute biggest challenge, I think particularly for new artists now, but actually for anyone doing it, is grabbing people's attention.
Yeah, it's attention. Was it called attention? We're in attention... not deficit, we are that, but what's the thing when we're fighting for attention? Attention economy?
Yeah, the attention economy is something we are definitely in.
Yeah, but I do think it's also really interesting. Like, I feel how I felt when I was 17 and the crash happened. And we were just told, we were just like in
2008 crash.
Yeah, sorry, that one, yeah. So I said, 17, turning 18, and I was in college, and they were basically like, sorry, kids, we can't help you. Like, we don't know what the future holds.
No jobs.
Yeah, there's no more jobs. Like, well, should we go to uni or not? They don't, like, just shrugging. We don't
really
know.
Was it really like that?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was kind of scary. But also there was this kind of like undercurrent of opportunity in ways that we hadn't thought about.
Right.
That was kind of like development of like the side hustle, the DIY culture. You kind of making things, in a grassroots way. And I think there's something to be said for that at the moment. Like, yes, it's bleak. It's really bleak and it's really hard. But there is a sliver of positivity in that maybe we can do things a little bit different in order to kind of get through this time. Or we need to do things a little bit different. So kind of like thinking outside the box, or leaning into disruptors, or thinking about how to use mediums in different ways. to cut through. Yeah. So it's definitely tough though. I can't deny that.
For sure. So you started at One Extra when you were 18?
19, yeah.
19, so that was 2009, 10. Yeah, okay. What was the position of the station then with regards to music and music discovery? Like, must have been different, right?
I mean, with Voice of Black Music. Yeah, Voice of Black Music. That was it.
What did that mean though in practical terms?
Voice of Black music and Black culture. So like,
that's a nice, obviously line. Yeah. What did it actually mean?
If it came from Black people, or it was part of like the cultural significance around sort of like Black culture, mostly Black British culture, then that was kind of what we were supporting and shouting about and kind of sharing. Like I loved, if I think of it, how it was meant to be. You know, that first advert. It's like a kind of iconic advert now when it's like they're riding through the estate and
I'm trying to remember. God.
Yeah, so this kid's on the bike and he's riding through the estate and like the car's playing One Extra, like the flat's playing One Extra, like someone's got a boombox down the road playing One Extra. It's kind of meant to be like Black British culture and everything that it was interested in and kind of like sharing that. So obviously there's a lot of American music and dancehall and, you know, kind of, I guess, bringing together the Black British experience and supporting that music.
Who were the main shows in 2010? One Extra, remind me.
So I used to like Rampages had a daytime show, and they would like mix but they would mix the playlist, which I always found funny. And you'd burn the CDs really quickly and then like hand them over to them.
Okay.
Mr. Jam show was just starting to really have a big moment. It was kind of around dubstep. He had the Daily Dose of Dubstep.
Yeah.
So that was definitely, and that was breaking records. He was breaking records.
Yeah.
With his jam hots. So that was quite an exciting time. And I used to steal all the music from that show because I would go to Represent and I wanted to be Mr. Jam because I was like,
Represent Radio.
Yeah, Represent Radio, which is a community station in South East, starting in Peckham. Now it's in Brixton. So I would I'd take the music and then I'd basically go to Represent and replicate a Mr. Jam-esque show.
Okay.
So Mr. Jam show was big, and then the breakfast show. So I think initially first it was Trevor Nelson and Gemma Kearney.
Right.
So that breakfast show was really, really big.
That's a good lineup.
Sort of moment.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah, it was good. I loved working behind the scenes.
Yeah. So what did you do initially?
I was intern, so I just like working across all the shows.
What did that actually mean? Like, what were you doing? Like making the tea and stuff?
No, not really actually, because I think it was the summer, so people were taking time off. So I ended up kind of like doing quite a lot of like the, we should call them like, producer assistant role. So kind of, like getting the music ready, writing out the scripts, going out onto Oxford Circus and getting Vox Pops.
Really?
Yeah, which I was like, it was so good for me to do, but I was like petrified. And it's like, don't come back unless you got something. What? That's what they say.
Oh my God. So what did you have to, what kind of stuff was it?
I don't know, like imagine like we'd take a question like, is it cool to ever cheat?
Okay.
You know, and then I'd be stopping people outside Topshop in Nighttown, like, hey, I'm working for the BBC. And some people would be like, don't film me. I was like, it's just a microphone.
Yeah, right.
Like, is it cool to ever cheat? Like, say your name, like, this is so-and-so from like North London, like, and I don't think it's ever cool to cheat because I've been cheated on, you know. And then I take it back and then I chop it up, edit it up, and then it'll go out on air that afternoon.
Oh, so you did some technical stuff as well then, right?
Stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like thrown in the complete like deep end in the best way.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that must have been pretty great as an education, right?
Yeah, it was. I thought of it like I wasn't going to go to uni, and that was like me going to uni.
Okay,
you know, that's how I thought of a practical course. In
why didn't you want to go to uni?
I think I was a bit of a know-it-all. I thought I knew it all.
Okay,
I thought it was going to slow me down, and I was on a mission.
Really,
you know,
I think that's probably quite a good. I mean, I think probably more people should have that mindset because I think a lot of people go to uni but probably shouldn't.
Yeah,
and I count myself in that. Actually, I didn't really do anything at uni other than mix records and smoke weed and drink beer.
Sounds
you know,
fun.
Like I mean, it was quite fun at the time, but like looking back at it, I'm not completely sure it was productive.
Also,
you know?
timing wise, it was just the year that the fees went up.
Right.
So,
well, I was on the year I went to uni was the first year they ever charged fees.
Wow.
So it was 98. I went.
Yeah.
And people were just losing their minds.
Yeah.
And it was like $1,000 a year.
Yeah. And then like, mine would have been $3,000 had I gone a year before. But then, right. I mean, I wasn't old enough. So then the year that I would have gone would have been $6,000 a year.
Yeah, right.
And
it's just not trivial, you know?
Because now it's like over that, you know. And I just think like I come from, I would say like, my parents were working class. but they weren't working class, at that time. But I think always that working class mentality. And my mum had been the first in her family to ever go to university.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that, well, job done. She's done it. I don't need to do it.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be the first to have a creative career. And she wanted a creative career.
Right.
My mum moved to London when she was 21 with 2 kids.
Wow.
To go to Rose Bruford, which is drama school. And she applied for the drama school when she was 6 weeks postpartum with me and was prancing in the air and, doing all these things. But she couldn't make a career in theatre sustainable with 2 small kids. And,
it's hard.
It was impossible.
Times, right?
So I felt like a kind of, maybe my creative career has kind of been for her in some ways.
Yeah. Okay. So was music in the house when you were a kid? What kind of tunes was?
A lot of New Jack Swing.
Okay.
My uncle and aunt, big hip-hop heads, massive hip-hop heads, mostly UK hip-hop. They love drum and bass as well. So every Friday, go to my aunt and uncles, they come over and it'd be like, they smoke weed or whatever and then have a dragon stout and then we'd just be sitting there like listening to music. And then my dad was like more like him and his partner, like love R&B, like proper slow jams, I would say. And then my granddad would come down and then it would be like straight reggae in the house. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So just back to One Extra. How has it changed then? How can you sort of define that? Because it's obviously a big, there is a big difference. Probably,
I think
some of which is like just radio as a whole, but
exactly.
Talking about,
and also I think where black culture became mainstream culture.
Okay.
Like before you were the underdogs.
Talk a bit about that. Yeah.
I remember when people started charting, it was like unheard of. Like it was like this ripple crazy like effect. I remember I was meant to do an interview with Wretch Free 2 for my podcast, and hopefully we can reschedule. But I remembered him going to getting a top 5. I remember
Sorry?
Wretch Free 2.
Oh right. Oh yeah.
I think it was with Tractor.
Yeah.
And I remember like the text messages, you must buy it for 99p on iTunes. We've got to get Wretch into the top 5. Like, it had never been felt before, but there was a shift in black British music culture tipping from underground into the overground. And One Extra was kind of moving with that, I would say. So I remember when One Extra got their first 1 million listeners, we had a party, not a party, we had like cakes because BBC and there's not much money, but we had like cakes on the 8th floor, it's oh my God, we got our first 1 million.
Right.
That was a big deal. And I think that would have been a couple of years after I'd been working there. So looking at like, again, similar time to Wretch Free 2 going to top 5. So 2012, 2013, we're in that sort of period. So what was the question?
Talking about the change in One Extra as a station over like then and now, and like its role and like what.
Yeah, I think this mission is still the same. I don't know whether it's just harder to reach the audience. I always listened to the station because I wanted to. I was always going to hear something new. And I can't say it for the station anymore because I don't work there anymore, and I'm not part of it anymore.
But you still got a show, right?
No, I'm not One Extra anymore.
I literally looked at the website this morning anticipating asking this question. I swear you.
No, definitely not. I've been there for a couple of years now. Okay. Yeah. I think I have to be very careful kind of how I phrase it. But if I was to look at cultural points, not just One Extra, but if I looked at YouTube channels or I looked at, moments in time, I think sometimes people find something that works and then are scared to change it.
Right.
So if I think about sort of like a rollout form or something like that, like you don't want to change it. But then you're moving further away from what, if time and everything around it and people are changing and attitudes are changing and access is changing and you're not changing, then you're going to fall behind, I think. And I'm not saying it for One Extra, but I'm just sort of saying in the broader version.
Yeah. And in the music industry especially, I think there is some people are actually quite conservative in the music industry, and there is things acquire inertia basically, and then like as you say, turning them around and reacting to things is actually not something which is the industry is very good at, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
And I'm like a bit of, I like rebellistic, like I like disruptors, like I like with people, you know, your ears, like you don't have to like everything I play. You shouldn't like everything I play, but it should make you think. Like, and if you don't want to listen, then don't listen. That's fine. But I'm not going to appeal to the masses. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. In order to I don't want to appeal to the masses. That's not what I think is art for me, is appealing to the masses. So when I think about kind of stations that I listen to, what I look for in radio, I want to hear things that I don't know, and I want to be slightly disturbed by what I hear, you know? Okay. Get my Shazam out and be like, oh, what was that? Oh, I've never heard that track before. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I never thought about that, you know?
When you hear Joe Budden pump it up on...
Yeah, I know Elijah's very upset about that. I mean, I can't believe that song has that song is still going. I tell you what, I should have played it in Croatia. They've got this boat at Love International Festival, HMS Respectable, and the boat. So after like a week of everyone hearing kind of like, you know, cool house music, cool kind of techno music,
disco, whatever.
Yeah, disco house techno. You know, they have this boat where it's like all like guilty pleasures, All Saints, you know, like like 2000 Nelly and Kelly, you know, Hot in Here, and Joe Biden. Why didn't I not play it? It would have gone off. Yeah. So I think it's like nostalgia, but it's like, do you want it as part of people's like sleazy sort of memories, or are you trying to make it cool again? I don't know. So right. Yeah. So just to draw a line more on I want to get deeper into it. Elijah's take on extra radio, as he puts it, because it's obviously not just one extra, there's obviously a number of others have a similar kind of policy around it. He seems to think that it's musically anyway, the way, I mean, I guess the focus has been lost, right? So you don't get those moments, you don't get, you know, new British artists being represented in the way they should be, or at least you would think they would be, right? Because that's notionally the point of these stations, or at least a big part of the mission statement anyway. You may or may not want to get deep into this, but what do you think about that sort of critique, like general critique of the way those stations are now and how they've developed? It didn't used to be like that. No, and it goes back to like what I was saying, is like appealing to the masses and kind of dumbing it down, right? You know, and giving people things that feel familiar, and being okay with being in the background. I'm going to talk about extra stations in general, because I listen, you know, and I will check out the extra stations, and I'm always like, you know, Snoop, we call them Snoops, where you like that would be like your boss listening, but you didn't know they were listening. Yeah, so I'm always snooping. Okay, and I got friends on some of those stations as well. But the idea is to not scare people away, and I just don't understand when specifically black music in its new form became scary. I don't really get that. Like, why would it scare people away when they can access it anyway? Do you know what I mean? They know when these new artists are dropping stuff. They know, or the newer, bigger artists, you know. So if you like Central C, then you might like this. Yeah, right. Or did you know that this, I don't know, give me like a, I don't know. But like, to me, like Bashi's album, you can relate that to so many new artists that now, but then you can also then go and play Aswad. Yeah. You know? Right. Or play a garage record. There's so much you can do with the lineage of black British music, and it should not be scary to alienate people. It's okay. Right. And I think that's when you move away from because it's just numbers, mass. Yeah. Without thinking like, who is the audience? Who is the target audience? Who do we want to appeal to? So yeah, it's a shame, and I think it does harm the industry, because then when that music is no longer, well, you know, we're cyclical, right? So when, let's say, and when I say like black British music, I'm more talking like from the rap and the rap space, the grime space. Yeah. So when that music's not popular anymore in the mainstream sort of idea, then it's even harder for it to come back to the top. Yeah. You know? Because it's also, it all moves in cycles. Yeah. And now we're in a band time. Yeah. Brit School, what was that like? Tell the audience what it
what is. It's
Yeah.
still
I feel
around.
like Brit School gets the same kind of rappers like the BBC. So now like double negative in
it's
people's
definitely that
lives.
kind of like sort of cultural establishment kind of a thing, isn't it?
It's actually really not, and like they could really do with some like an uplift. Because I mean, it's basically a comprehensive school in central London. Southeast London that is for performing arts.
Yeah.
So it had affiliations with the Brits, as in the Academy. Kind of like loosely. But yeah, it was like its first of its kind, I would say, that was comprehensive, because you'd had other ones like Italia Conte and things like that, but they were like paid sort of private performing arts schools. So this was like in the ends.
Right.
And all people from the UK could apply. So I knew a girl that was coming down from Manchester, and she stayed with her host family in the week, and then go back on the weekends back to Manchester. And then you had different strands. So I did media, which wasn't, we were probably at the least spoken about or spoken to, because we weren't that interesting. Then you had like the singers, the dancers, musical theatre, and it's the musical theatre lot that have given the Brit School the jazz hand kind of name, because they're the ones that are on the trains singing and prancing about.
Okay. Is that what happens?
Yeah. But there was elements of like fame, but there was also, for me, coming from a school in Deptford, which was really fun and I enjoyed it and I loved it, but I felt quite hampering on identity. Like if you didn't fit in with the sort of status quo,
right,
then you're not going to get on very well there.
Okay. I mean, quite a lot of schools are like that.
Yeah. And I think if you just kind of like exaggerate it in an environment in those times in Southeast London, like, yeah, it's not, you have to hold your own essentially. Right. So going to the Brit School for me was like, I can breathe.
Okay.
I don't have to fight.
So what did you have to do to get in? Like,
I just wrote a piece because I was doing media. I didn't even know it existed, to be honest. I just went with a girl that I knew because she was going to go check it out for some singing. I was like, I was down the road from where we'd moved to. So I was like, I'll just go and check it out. And then I saw the radio studio and the TV studio, and the photography studio and the computer room. And I was like, oh my God.
Nice.
I was like, I'm going to apply. So I wrote two pieces, one on The Simpsons and one on The Wire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I just love TV.
What did you say about The Wire?
I think I was like really like into like the socioeconomics of because I think it can be what The Wire showed was society, isn't it?
Totally, yeah.
From
each
the hood to the parliament,
Oh, it's a work of genius.
Yes, yeah. I've watched it 3 times all the way through. So yeah, I think the socioeconomics and the way it was filmed and the music, and it was kind of first of its time in that way.
Yeah.
So I loved it. So, yeah, and I don't know what about The Simpsons. Maybe it was about satire.
Okay.
Yeah, the satire within Simpsons.
Yeah,
like
right.
Yeah.
The classic era of The Simpsons, difficult to beat.
Yes, I know, and that's what we watched every day at 6 o'clock, and then after that, then you go to bed.
Okay.
Lights out.
Okay, so what was it actually like being there? Like, I often find that certainly I mentioned that going to uni wasn't great for me. I think if there was something good about it, was I met a ton of people that I wouldn't have met otherwise, who were different to people I met at school. So tell me what it was like being at.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is passionate about what they do. And everybody is...
That's a big difference from regular school, right?
Yeah. Everyone's passionate about what they... Also, everyone has a level of talent because you had to get in. So you've got something, right? You've got something to give. Or you've been awarded a place, right? So the threshold of talent was quite high, I would say, which was motivating. There's just kind of brilliance everywhere.
Yeah. Step up.
But also then you could see, but then also I feel like I always described it as like a mini industry. So everything that I do now or that I did when I got to the BBC, I was doing at the Brit School.
Right.
Just on a micro level. We were running the radio station, we were running the TV studio, making TV shows. We would go to the computer room, we would print off flyers for things. We were like, running like day parties in the gymnasium. Like it was like a mini industry, and everybody in their own departments were doing that. The dancers were dancing all day. From the morning they go and do like the yoga, they just danced all the whole way through. And then the theatre guys, they were putting on plays, all the time. The music guys, they were recording, they were writing, they were throwing shows, they were releasing, music, playing in each other's bands. Like I remember Katie B was like a year above me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. She had a band, and they'd be playing in community halls.
Right.
And it was just like everybody was living a small part of their dream. every day. It was the activeness and the action, which is what I kind of really enjoyed, which is why I didn't think I needed to go to uni, because I was doing it. Like,
yeah, how old what's the age group?
So mine was college, 16 to 18.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was doing it like I'd done an outside broadcast. I'd rigged up a mixing desk. I'd had KTP performing in Croydon Library. Like,
That's
okay,
a great place.
so now I need to go and do the things rather than sit in a classroom and you tell me to do the things through pictures, you know?
Oh, that's a great place to go for these years. And those are such formative years.
Yeah, and a BTEC doesn't look good. Let's be real. Like, you know, if I walked into I don't know, went for an interview and I said, yeah, I got a BTEC in media, they'd be like, what? You know, but then if I tell you what I can do physically, that's impressive. And it was impressive at 18.
Yeah.
For me to tell you the things that I could do, you know?
So what music were you into at that point? What we were in... This is 2008,
2008, 2009, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So what was happening? And
so I think I was driving at the time. I was very much like, I was raving to funky, going to UK funky raves, like big UK funky raver.
Okay.
I was like body
Who are your favourite UK funky DJs?
I was following like Perempe. And it was really cool because he lived down the road and I just felt like this sort of proximity. But then also being able to go and see him play like to a big group of people, like, you know, big crowd in like places like Dagenham and, you know. UK
funky was such a short-lived but brightly burning thing, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously, like, you know, you've still got the people that were big parts of it, maybe not directly just UK funky, but the sort of soulful house that are doing things like your Pioneers and
Rosca has been on the show, actually.
Love Rosca. Yeah, love Rosca. Always loved Rosca.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just loved, and then a lot of my friends kind of then got into like Mintech, which is like minimal techno. That wasn't really my bag.
Yeah.
And I'd go to dubstep raves as well because it was kind of like happening at the same time. So like if you went to like a Rinse FM Christmas party or the New Year's party, they'd have funky rooms and they'd have the dubstep rooms, and you know, so that's kind of moving.
Yeah, that was right in that kind of 2-year period.
Yeah, it was right. I loved it. I had such a great time. But I was also going to places like Yo-Yo's, which is in Notting Hill Arts Club, and they were the bit slightly older DJs, but playing kind of like, I would say like multi-genre, but from like hip hop to electronic music. And then they'd have people like Solange perform, and it's free.
Nice.
Yeah, which was mad. We just had to go on a guest list on a Thursday and get there early to get in. So yeah, that was like, and then I was into a lot of like R&B. And then I just kind of then suddenly wasn't into R&B. I found it, unless it was kind of like more old school stuff, but like I just found the newer stuff was just starting to get really novelty. It was kind of around the Euro, you know, when like Usher and Kelly Rowland did those Euro tracks, Euro dance tracks. I just started to feel like
not good.
Yeah, and I got into hip hop, and then I got into blog culture through hip hop, and then from blog culture, I started to go down like wormholes and rabbit holes, and that's when I was finding out like about your like Catronadas, and I would say like the kind of mostly US driven but beat scene, you know.
Oh, okay. So do you mean like Flying Lotus and that kind of stuff? Yeah,
but a little bit. They were trying to emulate that, but they weren't quite like the Flying Lotus. I'd say like the Selection era.
Yeah.
And then finding like more alternative R&B artists that were dabbling with those sort of sounds. So then that became my kind of niche for a while, was like future R&B.
Right.
You know.
Wow, okay.
Made a whole documentary about it.
Did you?
Yeah, me and Martha, who's on Radio 1.
Okay.
That's kind of how we got our legs up. Because the documentary did really well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's an audio documentary, but it was kind of basically like, I guess the BBC were like, hold on, there's this whole like online world we don't know about. And we're like,
right.
So yeah, so that was really cool. And then... Do
you mean US stuff mostly?
Yeah, it was mostly US, but there's UK producers like, you know, Muramasa was bubbling then. There was a couple of like UK Salute. I was booking like Salute for gigs. He started in that world and now he's in the more sort of, I guess, dance world.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess from that kind of just opened me up, like the internet, SoundCloud. It was just kept like, you know, like those little sort of Russian dolls.
Yeah.
It just kept opening. And I was like, I didn't think I was into that. Oh my God, I love this, you know? And then that's how I ended up in jazz.
Right.
Because I was playing this guy from Canada. I can't remember his name, but he was very much like fly low, kind of beatsy, but using, you know, jazz references.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend and he was like, Jesse is working on my show, but also working on Giles. And he was like, you know, if you like this, then you're probably going to like this.
Yeah.
So then that just kind of completely just changed the direction for me.
Got it.
I always loved electronic music, and I always had a separate like identity as a DJ.
Right. Oh, yeah, I was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
I listened to your appearance on How to DJ, where you told the story about your first ever DJ gig.
Yeah,
which
I
sounded a
told
bit
someone else about that the other
traumatic.
day. Well, when I prepared a set and they asked me to play, I prepared a whole set so I could do this. Like, I'd spent 6 months working on
That's
this
the classic
one
mistake
set.
for the first time DJ, right?
I know. But there was no literature out there about that then.
Yeah,
There's no things
YouTube tutorials.
There was no YouTube tutorials. I had a book, How to DJ.
Really?
And then I'm like slightly dyslexic, so like that just me up. I was like, hold on. I don't understand this, you know. So yeah, the reading How to DJ wasn't helpful. So I was just learning, like making it up. I had one lesson from a mentor, but the rest of it was just in my living room.
Yeah.
And I had techniques that were from my great uncle.
Okay.
That they came down from Birmingham. I still got them.
Nice.
And
yeah, they don't break.
yeah, he was a mobile DJ.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I had a Gemini mixer. Okay. So I had Serato, which I bought for my friend. The Serato box.
Yeah.
So I'd come up with this like set of music that I stole from Mr. Jam.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Sorry.
I think.
Okay.
Do you know what I remember was in there, which I don't know why that track. Skepta had a track with oh my god, what are those two Swedish brothers?
I don't know.
Swedish House Mafia.
Oh, right.
Those
Okay.
the ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skepta had this track.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He might not want you to remember that, but
there was definitely some dodgy kind of EDM house crossover grind stuff going on at the time.
That was where my set started.
That's where it started.
That's where it started, yeah.
All right.
I just remember because I was just always trying to like catch it, and then I had like Moscow Backs in there, and I could never catch that. I always found it like really, I can catch it now, but like then I was like,
Yeah.
so annoying. Why is it not, you know? And then I got there, and it's called Booty Bakery the night. And I did feel a bit weird because I would say like I'm a queer ally, but I'm not queer.
Right.
You know, and I think she thought I was queer.
Okay.
So her night was called Booty Bakery, and I get there, and it was in the Macbeth in Hoxton or something. And so you were like, oh yeah, it's a bit quiet, but do you think you could just like start off like a bit easy, like just play like some old school R&B? I was like, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah. And then I'm just, obviously you have to be able to mix that stuff. Like you have to know the tracks.
It's
like,
a different technique.
Different thing. I just thought I could do it visually because it's Serato. And I was just bombing hard. And I remember trying to play like Lauryn Hill. I feel I've ruined that song. Like, and then I got into my own set, and then it did get better. And then, but the security guard came over and he sort of patted me. He's like, it got better. It got better. It was terrible. Yeah.
Okay.
Good lesson though.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good lesson. I mean, my first ever, the first ever time I got paid anyway, first time in a proper club.
Yeah.
I was playing drum and bass at the time. It was at uni, and I was just practiced within an inch of my life. Do you know what I mean? Most bedrooms just constantly mixing, like. But what I didn't have was good headphones, so I couldn't hear a thing through my headphones. So it was literally mixing blind.
Yeah.
And it was just soul destroying.
Because you've been practicing as well.
I was so good. I was genuinely good at DJing.
So good in the bedroom.
But just like, do you know what I mean? I had these open back headphones, which is just completely useless, you know?
In a space like that.
Yeah, right.
Club environment. Well,
just didn't.
I remember the first time I never had any monitors.
Right.
I was just like, I was playing in a warehouse.
And you're like,
of all places. And I was just like, I can't. It just doesn't sound the same in my headphones when I take them off. And I couldn't work. I was working the next day on Ace's show, one extra, and I was like, hey, I think I've forgotten how to I don't know how to DJ. And he was like, tell me what happened. He was like, it's because you don't have any monitors. Right. And I was like, really? He's like, that means the sound's going like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh. It would have crushed me if I'd never asked him about it. And I just like internally, I probably wouldn't have done the gig again.
Just can't do it.
Yeah. So yeah, but they're good lessons, aren't they?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, playing with that monitors is not easy.
But now I can mix in headphones.
Right.
I actually
that's
prefer,
the thing. Yeah, the emergency.
Yeah, just
knob.
Yeah, I love mixing headphones now. I probably my partner actually hates it when we go back to back, but like, I'm just always in headphones now.
Okay,
I feel safe in there.
So, how is your DJ set developed then? So, I mean, where's it gone over the years, and what is your What's your set now?
Yeah. I mean, I guess probably from that moment, I was like, I'm never mixing R&B and hip hop. I hate it. I still don't enjoy it. I mean, I can do it if it's required, but I would prefer not to. And leave it to people that really know how to mix those records. But I've always just loved mixing electronic music, and I've loved the craft of DJing. And I think I've been DJing since I was 23. Yeah. I'm 34. So I've always...
It's a good amount of time.
Yeah. And they say, I watched this Theo Parrish podcast episode on RA.
Really? Yeah.
And he's speaking about you get better as a DJ as you get older.
I mean, really, no one below the age of 30 should be allowed to play.
Well, that's what he's saying. He was saying no one below the age of 40. I think he's just trying to
I was going to say
get
40,
it closer. Because it's when you're the first 10 years, you're playing, but you don't really know why you're playing. Why are you playing that record? What does that record even mean to you? What are you trying to convey to the dance floor? So even the first 5 years, first 5 to 10, you're just mastering the technicalities of DJing. Yeah. Being able to control a crowd, being able to use the equipment, learning it. That. Then he said sometimes then the ego starts to creep in during those 10 years. You suddenly think well, I'm good now. And so I should be here. I should be there. I should be playing here. I should be doing this. But then, then you get humbled. Things happen, they humble you. And then you go back to the craft of it. And then the next sort of 10 years and 10 years on, you start to really master the craft of knowing why a record works at that time and what it can do to people and how to really kind of move and build a set. And I kind of feel like I'm moving slowly into that phase of understanding how to control a dance floor and how to, sort of move and still have the integrity of playing what I want to play. And knowing that I've always been a multi-genre DJ, and even though people have said to me oh, you're not going to make it if you're multi-genre, it's going to take too long, or it takes too long because people just don't know what you play.
It's definitely harder.
It's harder. Yeah. It's longer, but it's the only way I know how to play, Yeah. And it's the only way I feel fulfilled in playing is being multi-genre.
Yeah.
So now I probably say, the journey that I kind of went on was maybe wearing lots of different hats, maybe trying to be a little bit more this, a little bit more that. And then ultimately, I feel like I've really come into my own as a DJ from lockdown onwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Lockdown gave me a pause to be actually, what am I doing here? How am I a DJ? What am I doing? Right. What kind of DJ do I want? And then it kind of coincided with joining Six Music and them wanting me to do a mix every Saturday on Air Live.
That's what I meant when I said just did on One Extra, because you're on Six Music.
Yeah. We'll let you off. It's okay. They all blend. Someone asked me.
Show the BBC.
No, but someone asked me if I was on Radio 2. I was like, you're taking a piss. Now you're taking a piss. Yeah. She's like, what is it again, Radio 2? I was like, bitch, please. Not yet. But yeah, they wanted me to mix every single week on the radio. And I was like, what, I can't have a guest mix? And they were like, no. I was like, oh, God. And then, but it was actually the best thing that, could have, for my sort of skill set, to really develop and to really grow. Right.
So it's basically, so it's kind of discipline, I suppose, of putting something together
every single week.
Regularly.
Yeah. And I love it now. I say my sets now are, I say I'm eclectic DJ,
eclectic selection.
Eclectic selection, yeah.
I had Mr. Scruff on the show a while back, and we were talking about that, the kind of early Ninja Tune, Gilles Peterson, broken beat, jazz influence scene, which never really had a name. People would call it eclectic beats or whatever, which was just kind of ridiculous and insufficient.
It's like world music.
Well, yeah, exactly. All these kind of terms. Is that sort of where you place yourself? Where do you sit, do you think, in the kind of wider, in people's understandings of the kind of wider, scene?
I would hope, but I would aspire to be in that bracket. I don't know if I'm quite there yet. Because I think you always need the depth of your collection, and that comes with age and experience. But I watch Giles DJ, and I'm that's it for me. Okay. No, it is the way he plays, the boldness, where he goes with the sets, that is without. I don't want to emulate it, and I can't. Yeah. But that is what I aspire to.
One of my favorite memories of music, actually. We used to do a night at Berghain, and we'd have the whole venue, so we'd program Panorama Bar as well. And one time we booked Giles, and he said it was basically a pretty straight house lineup. I think Maya Jane Cole's played. That's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
and then just Giles put in the middle of it. And you know, he went full Giles. He got on the mic. He was playing these. I remember the last year he played. He was just like, yeah, in Panorama, but it's same vibe.
I mean, you know, yeah.
And he's like Gilles Peterson, just like kind of whispering, and then just dropping these like jazz records, basically.
Yeah.
But it absolutely worked.
Yeah.
Absolutely worked.
Yeah. The conviction.
Yeah. It's really, it's basically transmitting that level of confidence, basically, to the dance floor. And if it's good
love. He loves those records.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know? Absolutely. It's conviction is the word. And if you're in a good club, because obviously not every dance floor is going to vibe with that, but if it's a good club with the right people in it, it doesn't matter if they come to hear house or not, they're gonna connect. Yeah,
and take something, you know, from it, you know, like, and I think that maybe the summers that I've been a little more doubty in myself, am I going to clear the crowd? Am I going to oh my God, I'm going to play to nobody? They're my worst sets, you know. Right. My sets where like, well, you know what? I'm like, I can't wait to hear this song on the system, you know, are the moments that I have some really amazing sets and it's reciprocated from the dance floor. Yeah. It's kind of when I almost don't think about the dance floor too much. I kind of think about my expression and my love of the music and sharing it, you know?
I was trying to formulate a question about how you judge multi-genre DJing, because this is not something that I do at all, really. I mean, is there an easy way to sort of encapsulate that? Like, I mean, is there a sort of commonality of approach at all? Or is it very much just like every club is different, every dance was different, you just got to
how I formulate it for myself.
Yeah. How do you approach it? Like from a set building perspective? Because there must be quite a big variety. I mean, you just said you don't really care about the dance floor.
I do care. I sometimes try not to care.
Yeah, right.
I guess I kind of formulate it more sometimes about feelings and vibes and energy.
So it's just like basically get there. How does it feel? What
but I've got loads of crates. Yeah. And I've got different sort of sections and different kind of moments that I might move in and out of, and they might sort of evolve and change. But then if I was to like say if I was to approach it like, I don't know, I'm playing in Norwich, I'm playing for 3 hours, it's like a rooftop party, but it's like a kind of like a more of a intimate setting. So I'm going to think about like, you know, what are all the things that make me, or all the styles that I'm really enjoying right now, and kind of then going through my USBs and kind of pulling out, you know, moments for that. I like it to feel cohesive. I used to be a multi-genre DJ that was like, I could play 15 different genres in 15 minutes. Right. And that didn't really work. Because, do you know when I knew it didn't work? I had a gig in Malta at, Annie MacD was doing the Malta, Malta Festival, and the rain was so bad, like it kept power cutting. And so every time the power went out, I just moved to the next song. Right. But I just felt disjointed because it just didn't make any sense as a sort of track by track set. It maybe worked mixing, but it didn't really work, I don't think. So
I guess that's the challenge, isn't it? Because I mean, the best DJs can get people to dance to music that they wouldn't normally dance to. I think that's usually my kind of best definition of someone who's really, really skilled. Yeah. And with jumping between genres, it's very much how each track relates to each other. Yeah. Right? To make it work, there's got to be something which means that this next track, which, you know, on the face of it is totally different, makes sense in the setting. Right? Yeah.
And I think it's like, I want to get you somewhere that you don't even realise you were there. Yeah. So we might have been here and suddenly you're here and you're like, oh my God, how did we get here? It's crazy. Yeah. Oh my God, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the
dream.
Magic.
You know? Yeah.
When that works, it's almost like, how did this happen?
Yeah. And I got like bridge tracks. That's why I love playing all night, because then I have them in sort of genres and I have moments in genres, but then I always have a couple of bridge tracks. So I'm like, this track could bridge me from Gom to techno if I played it at that time, or this could take me here. And I've kind of been making like edits for this summer, which has been really fun. My partner, Sam, who's also a DJ and producer called Sam Interface. And, you know, with him, sometimes he'll give me like an a cappella out. You know, it's just so I can make that switch or make that move into a different sound. So I mean, I've loved making the edits. That's been really fun. Yeah. And then my idea with my sets this summer was actually like, okay, how do I relate what I do on the radio that people like and enjoy on the radio, but with my love of club culture? Like, is there a middle ground of that? Yeah. I don't think I've quite got there yet, but that's what I'm trying to achieve.
Right, because the radio show is much more R&B hip-hop type?
No, so it's like more kind of world, I don't like the word time, world music, but it's like music from around the world.
It's such an awkward thing.
Yeah, so I stopped playing future R&B when I left One Extra, kind of alternative, down tempo music when I left One Extra, and I would always loved music and scenes from around the world, mostly from the lens of the dance floor. So that's kind of what I get to explore on Six. So we were able to play reissues or play old tracks, but then also play new stuff. So we're just constantly like traveling through the tracks. But there is, some of the more jazzy tracks, how can I make them work alongside my love of Cha-Cha Tracks, the Colombian label, is there a middle ground?
Yeah, that's a good label, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's a big example. Like, can I get from this high life track to to DJ Babata? Can I? There must be a way.
Yeah, right.
So that's kind of what I want my sets to be like.
Kind of like a puzzle.
Yeah, it is a puzzle. Yeah, and it doesn't always work. And then sometimes when it works, it's wonderful and it's beautiful and it feels very like a unique offering.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to do, and I think that the only way will be able to do that is by getting in the studio more and thinking of it from a producer's point of view.
Yeah, is that something you want to do more of, production?
I do, yeah. Not like to be a producer or anything. I just mostly, it's just a DJ and I get really bored. And
making edits is
fun.
Lots of people, lots of good producers have that as their route.
Yeah.
Right. So you just go down the rabbit hole with it.
Yeah, it's super fun, and obviously with Logic, and you can, split the stems and things like that. Yeah. But like when Sam's programming drums, I'm like, oh. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, just on Instagram, or I'm just like shopping,
So the previous episodes, which we just recorded, will be last week's episode. Was with Kelly Owens, and we basically agreed that the bulk of a producer's work is basically just sitting there waiting for it all to happen.
Yeah, it's a lot. Oh, I don't know how you do it.
Hours on, days on end, weeks on end. Yeah, honestly,
tiny bits, tiny things. I don't have the patience, and that's why I would never call myself a producer, because I think it's disrespectful, to those that do have the patience to just. Tiny tweaks.
But digging for music also requires a lot of patience.
Well, I can
especially now.
All day.
Okay.
All day. Like that's my sacred time. And every Thursday normally, not today because I'm here with you, but I've made it up on Monday. Is really? 8 hours.
So you set aside?
Yeah 8 hours minimum.
Really? Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah.
See, I would struggle to do that. Honestly, I can sit EQing hi-hats for more time than I would care to admit. But but I suppose, I don't know. I think I get frustrated actually crate digging. I just like, and it's like, and yeah, I don't know. I make the effort to do it, but I don't do it as much as I should do.
Yeah.
I just get angry with in a way that I definitely should do when I'm EQing high.
Yeah, is it the quality? Like,
I don't know. It's just like, I suppose maybe this is true for everyone though. You have particular taste in music, and it's actually not limited to genre at all. I listen to all kinds of stuff, and within the confines of, I suppose, a relatively narrow genre list of genres on my DJ says. But no, actually, having said that, techno house and space
your label
stuff.
And,
there's quite a lot of different stuff. But I just for some reason just get angry.
Well, I do get angry, but then the release when you hit, because I think of like the guy, that
like you find that good one,
that meme or something, and there's like the like sort of dwarf, and he's like, sorry, I don't know if that's the right term, but the little people in Snow White,
yes,
one of those, and then they're like mining, and then he's just about to turn around, but there's the gold. Like if he just did one more hit, and that's how I think about digging.
Okay.
Like just one more click, and one more click, or one more post, or one more thing you can listen to, and you might just find the gold.
Maybe that will be it.
Yeah, but it can be frustrating, and a lot of stuff is very samey. A lot of stuff, obviously, you can tell. I think it's more because as well the access to music, and obviously the access to equipment. In terms of like splice or packs and stuff like that.
I think it's made it worse, yeah.
Because I was interviewed Mark de Clive Lowe yesterday, and he's, for those that don't know, he's like amazing sort of broken beat, jazz, prodigy pianist, part of the London Bruck scene from New Zealand. just incredible musician. And he was talking about perspective and why the broken beat scene was so special, because everyone was coming from a different perspective. You know, you have 4Hero from the jungle, you had different guys.
The broken beat scene of the sort of like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like what made it so special.
Good.
Yeah, and what made every track feel so different. It wasn't limited by BPM or, you know, you couldn't really define what it was, but you knew what it was.
It was great. Loads of that music.
But it made me think, you know, obviously now, because, you know, it's great that everybody can make music. In a way, you know, it's great that everyone can access making music.
It's not great that everyone can release music. That's usually the way. That's
terrible.
No, I'll die on this hill. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's great that people are able to express themselves artistically. 100%. That's brilliant. It's not great that they can just put it on Spotify at the touch of a button.
I don't know. But there's just a homogenization of music.
Right. But that's what it's led to, right? Because it's like, because, you know, anyone can open Ableton, get on Splice, make
Dragging some kicks,
cooking cutter house music, and really enjoy it and get a lot out of it. You know, spiritually almost. You know, no, I'm not joking.
Just transcend yourself.
It's making music. Doesn't matter how good it is. It might be terrible, but the process of making it mostly is terrible. But the process of making
to complete something.
Absolutely, it just shouldn't be
to release. And what would be the okay? If you were like president of Spotify, I'm sure everyone would get paid more. But like,
it should be not major label, record label A&Rs who wield the power they used to wield. I'm fully in favour of gatekeeping in this area. Absolutely.
So what would be the threshold then?
Whether an A&R likes it.
Yeah, but the A&Rs are crap. I'm sorry. No, not crap. They're lovely people. But some A&Rs are crap.
Most A&Rs are crap.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they had more power, then better people would do it. But that's a terrible thing to say as well.
Don't know about that either. Yeah, let's look at the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess I gamify it, you know, so I will give myself a certain amount of time on Bandcamp, certain amount of time on Boomcat, certain amount of time Bandcamp editorial or going for, or Tracksource sometimes, or like, you know, I'll move around where I look for music, and then like sometimes I'm like, you have to go to a record shop and you've got £100 and like what you buy is what you buy, you know?
Yeah.
And then that always kind of leads to like newer discoveries that feel fresh and exciting. And I think stepping out from One Extra, it was all new music. That's all I played. We had a 4-week window that would constitute as new music. So if you sent me something and it'd been out for longer than 4 weeks, then we wouldn't play it. Right. And actually, I don't know if that exists anymore as what's new, because people are discovering stuff a lot later, because there is so much stuff, like you said. Whereas on Six Music, one of the remits for the show was that they wanted me to play older music as well.
Okay.
You know, not a percentage per se, but they wanted me to include older music. And initially I was just kind of putting songs in there, just like, there you go, there's your old one, you know? And then I got into it, like, you know, and I was like, I never looked back. I was always looking forward. And actually it's the perfect chance for me to actually like really learn and understand music in a different way by going back. So that's been really exciting, and using the sort of the world as a reference. Like, you could play Tanzanian old music or you play Tanzanian new music, and there's something to say for both of them, and it's really exciting, and both of them feel really, really fresh. So I feel like that's what makes the digging exciting. But if I was solely going on new release radar, I would be miserable.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I love being part of the Mercury's. I love listening to all those albums. I'm in the Mercury stage right now, listening to 200 albums. Yeah.
Are you a judge?
I've been a judge for 4 years. So
really?
Yeah. And that is like...
That's an interesting thing. So how do you just get asked to do it because you're a significant radio person, I guess? Like, person of significance.
In one niche, yeah.
So what do you have to do? You have to listen to a lot of albums, basically.
Yeah, 200 albums.
Wow, really?
Also.
And so what is the criteria exactly? How do they get you to assess?
Well, I guess it's, you know, is this the best album? Is this the best album? I mean, that kind of, I know it sounds broad.
Yeah.
You know, but is this the best album out of this list of albums? And is this the best album that the artist has made?
Though is doing a lot of work there. Like,
then you would start to, you know, drill down on the sort of, I guess, the components of what makes a great album. But firstly, is it a great listen, you know?
Yeah.
And in an ideal world, it would be a great listen from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I think through doing it for 4 years, I've realised there is no perfect album. There's perfect albums for me.
Sure.
But like on a that's on a personal level. That
I mean, it's always subjective.
Yeah, of course it's subjective. But yeah, I think what I've learned is like there's no perfect album. You know, some albums won't be amazing, but they're 4 tracks too long, you know? Or some of them are just
not
like...
even Dark Side of the Moon, I think.
Yeah. Nothing is perfect. You can find fault in all albums. But I love the craft. To me, I'm like looking at like what craft has gone into making this album. Like what story are you trying to tell? Because the album is a story. You know, I'm not into a collection of hits.
Sure.
A collection of bangers, which I didn't mind. As an album I listened to the other day running, I was like, you know what? No skips. But then if I was to drill down, is this the best album? Then what is it actually like saying on a more wider...
Right.
You know,
so this is the platonic ideal of the album, the conceptual statement.
Yeah,
right?
the conceptual statement. That's what you're really looking for. What the concept. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
So who has won the Mercury since you've been doing it? I've totally lost.
So I presented Little Sims.
Yeah.
That was a big moment. Ezra.
Okay.
Arlo Parks was one of them when I was a judge. Was I a judge? Yeah, I think I was a judge. English teacher.
Don't know that one.
Wicked band, really cool band.
What kind of stuff?
Like indie kind of.
Okay.
They were post-punk, but I just sort of say sort of alt indie.
Okay.
From Leeds. But yeah, I definitely have presented it 3 times. And this is my 4th year on it. So I did, so Little Sims was the first one. Ezra Collective, which obviously first jazz act to win Mercury. And then English teacher last year. So who knows this year? It's all kind of all to play for.
So how far are you through your 200 albums currently?
I mean, I'm still in A. It's alphabetical order. Okay. I'm still in A. Yeah. It's going to be I've got you get a little iPod.
Okay.
So that's why I've been like,
How many people judge it roughly?
Like 12 of us, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And everyone's got their own individual niche.
Do you, like get together like a jury and discuss it? Right?
Yeah, and I'm very like I didn't realise until I got on the panel. Like I'm a music snob and I love talking about music. I could debate about music, but I didn't realise like how in that environment, kind of how like, you know, to me it was like chess. You know, like I need you to come to my side of thinking.
Really?
You know?
Okay.
I kind of shocked myself.
Did you go in with a clear idea about what you thought should win?
Always, yeah. And I'm very like, I didn't realise like how loud I could be in a room like that, you know.
So you've done 3 of these sitting in the room.
Mm.
Was there ever a strong disagreement? Like 2 camps maybe? Like was there
Not really, no. I wouldn't be able to say actually.
So there was
I wouldn't be able to tell you that,
consensus. People like
I guess you kind of never want to say, because you never want to say to someone like, it could have been you.
Right.
You know? Like you were just almost so close.
Because it how long's the shortlist? Is it like 10 or something?
Yeah, it gets to 10, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or 10 or 12, yeah. Yeah. So it's a really fun thing to do. And then that as well, like I love listening to music that is outside my remit.
Mm.
You know, like sometimes I used to start with like the classical section and listen to those albums. And then I listen to the rock albums or the metal albums, and then slowly get to what I already know.
It's quite cool that it's just one thing, right? Because I mean, there must be the temptation to have like, you know, what as awards always do, like endless subcategories.
Yeah,
I think it's quite cool that it's like, no, it's
just about the album, I think, and people want to win it. You know, people want their album.
They've managed to keep it pretty credible, pretty cool, actually, in a way which is not that easy to do, I don't think. And
it does something for the artist, like, you know, like you will stream a couple thousand, not a couple thousand, you'll sell a couple thousand more.
Yeah.
You'll stream, you know.
3 million more.
Yeah. 3 million, but.
No, I think you definitely must do.
No, I don't think like a few million, but maybe like 20,000, 30,000 more. And you definitely will sell more tickets.
Right.
There's definitely that, you know. I think of like kind of like the sort of like the casual listener that wants to know what's interesting. That's
people definitely pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just being on the shortlist probably helps a lot. But
that's how I came across Dizzee Rascal.
Right.
Yeah. So my neighbour, he bought it. He bought it after he'd won. And then he was like, "Oh, I don't think this is for me." So he gave it to us. We were like 13 years.
I was on Rinse when Dizzee won the Mercury, and I remember buying "I Love You," the white label, when it came out, because it came out a couple of years before the album, didn't it?
Yeah.
The single. It's, I mean, to this day, just unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. It's nothing. It's like nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. The production, the storytelling.
It's insane. What I thought about it was actually, remember at the time, it was like the Labour government had just been re-elected. but the Cool Britannia, you know, New Labour thing, the shine had come way off it. And the lyrics to I Love You are so bleak, you know, and I really had that things like, you know, like Tony Blair should listen to this because this is actually what it's like for kids in the country.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, like kind of away from there. Like it's like under the glitter. It's like, yeah, this is like kind of the realities of inner city life.
Totally.
Definitely. Yeah, great album. I was still listening to it and I love Brand New Day.
Yeah. Really good. Okay. Where did we get to? What were we just talking about before then? Mercury.
Mercury's in the end, yeah.
So who's going to win the Mercury this year?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I actually couldn't tell you. I think it's really open.
Here's a question. Of the 200 this year, roughly how many of the artists do you know?
I'm pretty up on quite a lot of it, only because I used to do a radio show for British Council, which was all British music.
Oh, really?
So some of the artists that I was supporting quite early on are now releasing those albums that are on those on the list, and then you've got always have your heritage acts, you know, people on their 7th, 8th album, or bands and stuff, mostly bands. So for the most part, there's not that many names that I don't know, but there's always, I guess, you know, maybe like 50, 60 out of those, I don't know.
It's just a lot of music.
It's a lot, yeah.
Just before we finish, just talk about Six Music a bit, and the station, generally speaking, just moving back to this, obviously you're on it, and how is it different doing a show on Six Music compared to One Extra?
Yeah, I just feel really free, to be honest, and I feel very lucky to have a show in the middle of the day on a Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock where I can play exactly
so you can
what I want,
do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And do you work with the producer on getting it all together and stuff, or like how's it work?
So I have a great producer. His name's Arthur, and we work really well together. He actually used to be on my One Extra show. And yeah, I mean, I do all the music, I send it all over, and then, you know, if I want to do features, he'll reach out, or I'll reach out to people, and then we'll do the interviews. He's a great editor. I think one of my things that I always wanted for people that work with me is like, I like production quality, and I want to hear the edit. You know, I want to hear that you're trying new stuff or trying different things.
Right.
Yeah, you're looking at the guys. Yeah, so that means a lot to me. And then, we just kind of work together on ideas, special, bigger things. But sometimes it is as simple as playing some lovely tunes to people on a Saturday afternoon.
Right.
You know, and that's sometimes the most listened to shows. No frills.
And it's stuff like, you know, people who follow you in particular, because obviously there's Six Music's got an audience of its own, right? And it must be quite different to One Extra audience.
Yeah.
What's that been like? Like when you moved over there, what was that kind of transition like? Did you find you must have gained a bunch of new fans after?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely not the easiest of transitions at the time. It was kind of, it was tricky. It was hard because you're going into somewhere people have cult listening. There's some people that are up for something new and different. And then there are some people that really don't want that. And, you know, it's hard when what they don't want is because of your colour. It's what I would say.
Right.
You know,
okay.
And that was something that I had to overcome, ignore sort of thing. But also like, that it's not any bearing on me and the music that I play and what I have to offer. It is simply because I'm black, like, you know.
Right.
But I don't feel that anymore. I don't see that anymore. I don't feel that anymore. And I think they're probably not listening to that anymore. So that's great.
Right. Really? So there was like overt pushback, was there from a section of the audience?
I would say a small, loud minority, but it's like, it's like the internet.
Yeah.
The small, loud minority.
Disproportionately loud.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to a ton of Six Music. My kind of stereotypical view of it is that it's kind of just kind of white indie bands.
No, I mean they did play a lot of white indie bands,
right.
And we still play a lot of white indie bands. No, I think it's more like a corner of the BBC that's alternative.
Okay,
it's alternative music. It's like they say their tagline is like. So obviously tell I've been like institutionalized. Their tagline is music.
I'm supposed to say our tag.
Yeah. No, okay, our tagline. Yeah, but I didn't come up with it. But it's a good one, and I love my boss. So it's like music outside of the mainstream.
Okay.
You know, so they're alternative. It's the alternative space for the BBC. You should listen. I think you'd be surprised.
I mean, I listen to the occasional. I listen to like Tom Ravenscroft. And a couple
Tom's
other
gone now.
bits. Has he gone? Really?
I'm gutted about that.
When did he go?
Recently, so you're not too far behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I listen. I like it. I always hear stuff I don't know. I love the Saturday programming. So it's it's me. No, it's Huey into me, into Giles, and Craig Charles. Sherelle's on that lineup as well. I love the Sunday programming. You've got Marianne now on the Sunday. You've got Keris Matthews. You've got Iggy Pop. Like Guy Garvey. Like
it is good. Actually.
Yeah, come on. Do you know what? You come and join. We'll get you a Six Music Dad hat.
That is.
I've become the mom and dad's favourite DJ.
Quite an offer.
Yeah. And you feel like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just a nice listen. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, come on. But it's funny because my audience now is split between like, I have like a following as a DJ, like of like younger audience, and that my mum and dad love you. Can we get a picture? So I've become like the mum and dad's favourite DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I'm not mad at that.
Good. That's a good place to be, actually.
Yeah. Longevity, intergenerational.
Absolutely, yeah. Last question.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot. What are the biggest tunes going to be this summer? The 3 biggest tunes this summer? What are they going to be?
God. Oh, God. I don't feel like I would know them, and that's not a bad thing. Like,
what are 3 big tunes this summer?
3 big tunes this summer.
What the people should listen to?
So I'm telling them what they should listen to.
Absolutely. That's
Okay. Yeah, no, it's true. But you just really have put me on the spot.
I know, it's the worst kind of question. So we can like cut down the
we can definitely cut it down. Can I get my phone? Can I look at? Can I call a friend? 3 biggest songs this summer. I feel like because I'm not. Do you know? Okay, right. I'll tell you one.
Go on.
Melee and KG.
Okay.
And Melee's whole label, Club Bad, is really good. I really enjoy what he's been putting out on there. But I like his song with KG. It's like something about the drum.
Okay.
I need to find the title. All right. Can I get my phone?
Yeah.
Okay, you're cool.
Of course you can.
Let me get my phone. I feel like I'll be disrespecting people if I don't.
I feel like this has happened before as well, where you've like thrown in that question and like, I need to make my phone.
I know it's the worst question to be asked.
No,
sometimes it's difficult to resist.
You're going to have to really cut this down.
That's right.
I'm just going to leave it all in.
Yeah, no, just leave it in. It's fine. Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me get it on. Beat Up the Drum. That's what it's called.
By
Melee. Okay, so I think a song that's going to be big this summer is by Melee and Karen Naomi KG.
Okay.
It's out on Melee's label, Club Bad. It's called Beat Up the Drum.
Okay.
I think that's a really good one. God, you really have put me on the spot.
You've literally got your phone.
I know I got my phone, but it's like, what's big to me, or like...
Yeah, what's big to you, yeah.
Yeah, what's big to me. God. I'm gonna have to go to my Bandcamp. It's the only way. Hold on a minute.
That's fine. No rush.
Okay. I can feel time ticking. Yeah. Oh God. Okay, so I'm just going off of what I'm playing. That's getting some good reactions.
Good enough
right
for me.
Now.
Good enough for me.
There's this track that I've been playing a lot in my sets this summer, and it's like a kind of sort of like Latin housey sort of soulful record. It's by a guy called CC Alsard. It's called Oreyeye, but it's the Doug Gomez remix. So like kind of like very summery, very soulful, kind of on that house tip, and it works in sort of different settings. So that's been a big one for me. Played it worldwide. Played it at Glastonbury. That's a good one. And a third one, big one this summer. That's new, yeah? That's just come out. Or just in general. I feel like I'm not a DJ now. I feel like maybe I'm not a DJ if I can't name them. Or maybe I'm just anti big tunes. Okay.
What was the biggest tune in your Glastonbury set? Or a notable tune? make it easier.
Jesus Christ. Do you know? Yeah, because I feel like the notable songs are some of the stuff that like...
What good reaction?
Yeah, got a good reaction. I think some of the stuff that like playing edits that I've even made or my partner's made, kind of that's the noticeable ones that I sort of notice.
Yeah. It was fun when you make a good edit.
Yeah. And he did he's done a good like Gwen Guthrie.
Okay.
You know when someone asks for it and you're like, no. Like, Sam, give it to nobody until next summer. Yeah. That's a good one. But, also I am, this I think is just a big tune anyway, but it will be a big tune this summer for me. It's like an Axel Bowman track.
Okay.
And I saw Luke Una play it.
Oh, yeah.
He played it after me on his Glastonbury set at San Remo. And we quickly Shazammed it. And then me and my partner played it at, oh God, where was it? We played it at Worldwide.
Okay.
And it went off, and I've just put it in my sets ever since. And I played it at Love International, and Sam was like, Luke's here. And I was like, yeah, but it's not Luke's tune. Like, he didn't make the song, like it's not his. He was like, I know, but like Luke's here, so just be careful, playing it. So I can't remember the title, but just Axel Bowman, just because it just builds and builds and builds and builds. Really fun. Sorry, I feel terrible. I do have a job telling people about tunes, but
I mean,
I'm tired.
Clearly.
You were just like, that's why we hate the BBC.
Check out Jamz Supernova on Six Music.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Music, not diving, with Scuba.